Okay, now that our image is painted, we want to assume we have other images, and I'm just going to go to a quicker tutorial to show you how to set up and prepare your presentation, simulate that presentation. My image is painted. What I could do is zoom in on it and maybe look it over a little bit. I got some black spots in here. My background is white. I can select the white and use my eyedropper so I get my white. True white is 255, 255, 255 in the RGB readings. So that shows up there. Say OK. I go back to my pencil tool. Again, using my brackets, which are just to the right of your letter P key. I can make that a little larger and just kind of scroll around. Now I also have some little whites inside of the image. Um, there's different ways. I think I want to just keep this to a minimum. There's a way to get rid of my. All right, I brought it up. Might as well show you. I'm gonna hit my zoom key, zoom out a little bit, and what I'm gonna do is use my magic wand tool over here. And as I select that, I want to make sure it is not anti-aliased. It is selected anti-alias here. And I am going to select the wand. And what I'm going to do is select similar. So I'm going to come down here, not similar layers, but just similar. And what that is selecting everything that's white. And what that's going to do is allow me just to paint whatever is white on the image. So as I select that, then I'm going to zoom in with my zoom key, come in a little bit, and I can kind of see where I have these white areas in here. I'm using my shift key to move around. I'm going to swatch back and forth from here. Again, I could use the X key to switch those. I'm going to hit the B key, which is my pencil brush tool. And because it's selected, it's only going to paint what I have selected in this case. And just double check. I am painting on my background layer. That's selected. I'm not painting on this other layer. So I have that selected. So as I take my black over that, it's kind of hard to see. I could do a Control H, and it doesn't work as well on the Mac, but on the PC, if I hit Control H, it takes that movement of the selected area off. And I have this little bit of white in here. If I go like that, you can see I'm painting right on the green, nothing's happening. Now if I paint on the white, it will show up. So I got to be careful. I don't want to go outside and touch that white. I'm going to do a Control Z there. But in these other areas, so what I'm doing is kind of filling in. You can make that a little smaller. If I want to get rid of some of that white halo effect that is showing up in there. Like now, if I wanted to paint that green, I can't because the white is still selected. I can pick this blue color. I'm hitting my Alt key or Option key on the Mac, and then I'll just hit that blue. I can hit the Option key, get that little bit of black there. Because they're white spots, that's what I'm painting right now. I'm just filling in these little white spots. So we can go through and do that. So I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to stop this right now. So what I'm going to do is deselect, and you can also do Control D or Apple D will deselect. So I'm going to choose deselect. And so now, if I start painting, I'm no longer just painting on the white. I'm going to do Control Z. I don't want that. I'm going to zoom out, see my image. And now I'm going to, get a little crazy there. Zoom it back out. I could clean up some more of those spots, but for time's sake now, I'm just going to go faster. If you have the time, I suggest you do that. What I want to do is select my image. Well, first of all, I'm going to make a new simulated 15 wide by 20 high document presentation piece. So I'm going to go to File, New, up here. Comes up with this dialog. I'm going to change pixels to inches because that's the format I want to set my measurements up in. It's going to be 15 inches wide by 20 inches tall. And my resolution, I'm going to set at 150. For what we're working at, that's a good enough resolution. I think I told you to scan it at 300 resolution. This is an older scan. I might have scanned it at 150. I can. It's creating this image. So right now I have this new document, and if I go to image, image size, tells me it's 15 inches by 20 inches, 150 resolution. That's the pixel size. So I'll say OK here. And I'll come back to this character. I just want to see the image size here is image size 150 resolution. Actually, this is taken from an animation drawing. For animation, I use a scale at 150 resolution. For doing print artwork, 300 resolution is best to scan at. So if you're going to do scanning, scan at 300 as it's noted in our handout. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm going to go to my lasso tool, which is right here, and I scroll on it. It says lasso tool. I'm going to select that. Make sure the anti-alias isn't selected. And with this tool, I just kind of go around my image. It doesn't have to be exact. This is not a final piece right here. I'm getting my mouse getting a little stuck. Coming around here, and I select it. So I just took this little bit of the area of the character. What I'm going to do, I could move it to my new image two ways. I could go to the easiest way would be go up here to my move tool. Is up here. V is your quick key, and you might be using this one often, so that's a good quick key to remember. But I'm going to select the move tool, and I'm going to come back to this image, and you see I get the little scissors because I had this little area selected, so it's going to cut it. I'm going to just take it and drag it over to this image. So now I have it on my page, and I can move it around and place it where I want. And if I want to take a different version of it and bring it over. So you would do this with all your different images and lay them out. You can move around now. What's showing up here, image layer 1, layer 2, you can click on them and rename it. So I can call it M1 for Monster 1, M2 Monster 2. You know, the same characters. You're bringing in your different painted images. You're layering them into this new document we created that simulates our presentation piece. And we can position them and scale them. It's better to scale down. That's why if I had scaled this up at 300 dpi and brought it into 150, they would have came in larger and would scale them down. What you don't really want to do is to take the image and scale it up. But I'm going to show you how to scale. So I have this M2 selected. So it's whatever is selected here will it move. So if I select M1, then I'm going to move this guy. It's selected. What I'm going to do is to edit, transform, and free transform, scale. We'll just deal with scale right now. It's probably not good to rotate your image because if you don't rotate it a true 90 degrees, 180 degrees, it will become pixelated, and we really don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do here is just pick scale, transform, scale. And you see I got these little things. I'm going to zoom up on my image a little bit and see. Then go back to the edit, transform, scale. So I have this, and I could grab in the corner. Now I want to scale it in proportion. I get this angle, and I'm going to hold the shift key, and then it scales in proportion. You scale it up, it is going to, lost the image in there. If you do scale it up, it will distort. So I'm reading up here, you can see that what you're scaling it at. You can also click this key and scale it, let's say 80%. Type it in. Because I have this locked, scaling width and height same proportion. That's the same as holding the shift key. I like that. I'm going to go up to this check box here, and I'm going to say, yep, save that scale. Now if we zoom up on it, I know it's kind of hard in the video but now it's anti-aliased. It's kind of picked up, the colors are kind of blending a little together as you scale something down. If I scaled it up, it wouldn't be as clean, so try to scale down. Try to remember to scan at 300 dpi. Let's pull out. I'm going to zoom out and see my whole picture. So as you get through it, you set up all your images in there. Now this is a 15 by 20 inch image. Printing paper is 8.5 by 11, so you wouldn't be able to print the whole thing. After you have it all set up, you want to make sure you save it. So I'm going to do a file save as, and in this case I'm going to call it monster, and not paint, but I'm going to call it presentation 1. So I have that as a name for this new file. It's a Photoshop document with all its layers. Say OK. You know, I get all my images set up here. Now I'm moving this guy because I have him selected, but you can position them to where you want. You show your presentation as well as you can. And then what you're going to probably have to do is to crop in and break it up into sections. So you don't want to cut off a character, but you would maybe set it up, to scale them. We could talk about that more in class and how we do it, but you're gonna have to print it out in pieces, and you want to print it out from these images, not from your originals, because this is the size that you want it to match when it comes out, and you can use it to cut it out and put it on your board. Okay, that's it for now, and we'll talk later in class.